All right, guys, buckle up. We got ourselves a Wagyu set here, so grab your little baggies and start opening them all up. That's the Wagyu itself. Just going to cut that open and throw it over on the board. We're going to go right into our shiitake mushrooms that are sitting in a sous vide bag of unagi sauce, quite delicious. Then we're going to cut open our carrots, throw them in a small pot as well. And I usually just chuck them in the hot pan that I'm going to go in with the steak, just to kind of slowly heat them up as I'm preparing things. There is a little thing of truffle butter here. Way too much truffle butter than you'll ever need. So you're going to use some of that some other day with your pasta. And then we also have some shallots and a little bit of chive. So cut the very bottom plank is what I do, right off the bottom of your butter, and save the majority of it. Keep that truffle butter for later. That's like gold. Then we're just going to slice through our shallot about 1/8 of an inch. We're going to saute those in the actual fat of the Wagyu after we're done cooking it, and then slice your chives as thin as you can with your sharpest knife, if you got one. And then this is just setting things up, or mise en place. We're getting things in place. Season your steak very heavily, lots of salt and pepper. Make sure it's completely covered. And then after you've got a good seasoning on there with the salt and pepper, we're going to go right on over to our hot skillet. Now, I have a non-stick metal skillet here. It's going to carry a lot of heat. If you have just a really heavy saute pan, it's another nice one to use. But I don't even put anything in the pan. You can if you'd like. If you like to put a little bit of oil or fat in there. But it's so fatty, it just sears itself. So once you get one side seared really well, we're looking at like 2 to 3 minutes. You want to pull it and not even cook the other side and just let it rest on your board. Then I throw my shallots in the pan in that actual fat, and then I'm going to throw a little bit of canola in there as well and some salt. And we're going to saute that in that fat. We don't want to lose any of that Wagyu fat because it's gold as well. Once this is all sauteed up and mixed around, you get a little bit of color on them. And our unagi is up. We don't want to reduce that unagi down. It's going to be a sauce for our plate, and it gets really intense if you bring it down to like a syrup. So all you're really doing is just heating it up. You can even add just a little bit of water to it if you're going to reduce it just a little bit. But I add my onions to that, and then I get things ready for plating. So this is really a plated set, which is kind of nice. So I take my confit carrot. I'm going to cut the bottom off, and just kind of set it next to each other like little towers. Then I'm going to find a little bit taller one, and I'm going to just square off the bottom. Get them all to sit next to each other nicely. Throw that little piece on there as well, and then just grab it. Put it right on the plate there. That'll be kind of our first little bandstand, and we're going to do it all over again for the second plate. And then we're going to, speaking of bandstands, I'm going to put one on each plate, and we're going to actually take one of the shiitakes that looks like it'll fit nicely on top of there in balance, kind of like a little mushroom, a little elevation to our plating, which is kind of nice. And then we're going to throw our sauteed onions over the top of our carrots as well. It's a little snack for me. It's quite delicious. It's very good. Wagyu A5 coming from Japan. It is the best beef you can possibly buy. Happy Easter on that one. We're just going to cut this. I cut it down the middle, and then I'm just going to slice it into nice little 1-inch pieces. And I'm going to put it right on my plate there, and then I'm just going to finish with those freshly sliced chives, which is kind of a nice little addition of fresh onion flavor. And then at the end here, what we're going to do is we're going to take that pat of butter, quarter it, and just throw it on there as well. Let it kind of melt on the steak, and it tastes delicious by itself. It's just meant to go with this unagi sauce that we're pulling right out of the pot that we were simmering those shiitakes in, and that goes right onto the plate, and there you have it. Finished little dish there, really nice one for your Easter dinner. And there's lots of extra things. So if you look around, I just kind of grab everything else. I cut it all up. I just chuck it in the pot. Cut up all that beef, threw it in there as well. And just threw a bunch of chives in there, and then I just mix it up and I hand it to my friend James, and he says, quite delicious. So don't throw any of this away. It's quite delicious and quite expensive. It's the most expensive beef you can possibly buy. So what a treat for Easter dinner. We'll see you guys next time. Later.